Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua. All praises due. Peace and blessings, family. We gonna get straight into these scriptures, all right? Straight to the scripts. And we go hit on something that people kind of fly over and like it's not really a big deal. And it's kind of the main reason why we in this situation that we in this captivity, because we turned away from our power, from our roots, from our heritage, and from the traditions of our ancestors. So we go ahead on the topic today about idolatry. All right, so let's get straight to these precepts. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 13, and I'm going to begin reading at verse 1. It says, "Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of the power, and cannot of the good things that are seen know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster." So everything that ever goes on concerning this earth, bro, people never consider the one who made it. Verse 2, "But deem either fire or wind or the swift airs or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world." So they'll make gods out of the elements, right? But like I said, they don't acknowledge the workmaster. They said they deem either fire, wind, or swift air, you know? It's a lot of different gods out there, bro, starting with the Egyptian gods. Ammon, Set, Gib, Toph, Osiris, etc. All right, it's a lot of made up shit. Verse 3, "Would he whose beauty, if the being delighted, took them to be gods? Let them know how much better the Lord of them is, for the first author of beauty have created them." The wind didn't create itself. Fire didn't create itself. It had to be somebody that created this, all right? Verse 4, "But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he that made them." Verse 5, "For by the greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionably the maker of them is seen, just thus being alive, just by the sun rising and setting, the moon going through her courses, the constellations in the sky, the sea, the animals, everything that goes on, bro, is evidence enough that Yahweh is real." Verse 6, "But yet for this they are the less to be blamed, for they peradventure err, seeking the power, and desirous to find him. For being conversant in his works, they search him diligently, and believe their sight, because the things are beautiful that are seen." Like, you got these scientists, you got these astrologists, you have all types of people who study all variations of things. They find out all these beautiful and all these wondrous works, and they find so-called new discoveries. It's already been discovered, but they have found out something new, or that they never seen before. They have found something new in their research, but they still don't acknowledge the workmaster. Verse 8, "Howbeit, neither are they to be pardoned. For if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof?" All that, man, they still can't find out who the Most High is. And a lot of them do, but they hate him, all right? Verse 10, "But miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope, who called them gods, which are the works of men's hands, gold and silver, to show art in, and a resemblance of beast, or a stone good for nothing, the work of an ancient hand, made with hands." All right? Made with hands. You got to remember that. All this shit is made with hands. Verse 11, "Now a carpenter that fell of timber, after he had sawn down a tree met for the purpose, and taken off all the bark skillfully round about, and now wrought it handsomely, and made a vessel thereof fit for the service of man's life. and after spending the refuse of his work to dress his meat, hath filled himself, and taken the very refuse among those which serve to no use, being a crooked piece of wood, and full of knots, hath carved it diligently, when he had nothing else to do, and formed it by the skill of his understanding, and fashioned it to the image of man, or made it like some vile beast, laying over with vermilion, and paint, coloring it red, and covering every spot therein. And when he had made a convenient room for it, set it in a wall, and made it fast with iron. For he provided for it that it might not fall, knowing that it was unable to help itself. For it is an image, and have need of help. It's an image. It is an image. All right? It is an image. It can't do anything. You see all the shit that the scripture says. They are fastening it down so it don't move and fall over and break. They are put in a convenient room so nobody go and mess with it. They do all this for shit that they made with their hands. All right? Let's see what else they do. Verse 17. Then maketh he prayer for his goods, for his wife and children, and is not ashamed to speak to that which have no life. For health he calleth upon that which is weak. For life prayer to that which is dead. For humbly beseeketh that which have least means to help. And for a good journey he asketh of that which cannot set a foot forward. And for gaining and getting, and for a good success of his hands, asketh ability to do of him that is most unable to do anything. Praying that my journey good. Praying that I had success in life. Praying that my wife and my kids be okay. They do all this shit for shit that they made with their hands, knowing that it has no life, knowing that it has no spirit, knowing that it can't save them. Vain are all men who does this. And behind every image, there's a doctrine and religion. All right? Religion is made to conquer and divide the masses, especially our people. And it all starts with these images. True spirituality, true, is all from within, is all from Yahweh Yahweh Shai. It's not any of these images they make. Buddha, Shiva, Krishna, and Jesus Christ, etc. All vain. Now let's go over to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14. And we're going to start at verse 8. But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it, as he that made it, he, because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called the power, or called God, little g. All right? So cursed is the person that made it, and cursed the image. Verse 9. For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto the power. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles should there be a visitation, because in the creature of the power they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. A snare to the feet of the unwise. Why? Because they already dumbed our people down to a very low vibration, right? So they can't think. And all they do is they add these gods, add these religions, and just continue to conquer and divide our people. I'm not talking about the heathen. They were made to serve. That's their purpose. But our people was not meant to bow down to gods made with hands or bow down to a man. That's not what this is. All right? So curse is curse you and your God. All right? Jesus Christ, he's a stumbling block and a snare to the feet of the unwise. Why? Because first off, they put Jesus Christos in the scriptures, which was never his name. They changed the whole meaning of the doctrine. The whole Bible has been plagiarized and transliterated. They use the English language to replace certain words. A lot of words have different meanings. A lot of words have double meanings. All right? It's all a spell that they use on us. It's a stumbling block. Christianity is a very big stumbling block. And why I hit Christianity? Because that's the majority. That's the religion that majority of our people are under. All right? You also got the Moors. Our people are divided. It's not supposed to be this way. And no, we're not. You can't accept. You can't say it don't matter what you believe in. We're gonna all still come together. All right. A little leaving, leavening the whole lump. You gotta remember that. There's only one power, and that's Yahweh himself. Gotta remember that. Everything else is vain. Everything else means nothing, no matter what it is. It can sound so good, but it means nothing. You can learn as much as you want, study as much as you want. It means nothing. Because let's get that precept real quick. Let's go to Ecclesiastes real quick. We're going to come back to Wisdom of Solomon. Let's go to Ecclesiastes real quick. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. That's everything. Because remember, Solomon said everything is vanity. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the power and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For this is the whole duty of man. For this is the whole duty of man. For the power should bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. We're not appointed to wrath. So when that power comes, you get turned up. That's the judgment that we're going to face. Turned up or not. All right? Now let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 14. We're going to continue reading at verse 12. Let's go into the origins of this shit. Verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. The beginning of spiritual fornication. And this is how we fell off. Go to 1 Kings. What did Solomon do? He let his wives and concubines turn him away from his power. What did he do? Serve other gods. Go into dark magic. All right? And dark magic is something that's in the occult. And I'm not talking about secret societies and shit like that, because they do it as well. But dark magic and all that shit is written in books. Everything is written down. And this is what these heathens use. And the invention of them, the corruption of life. The corruption of life. How? Because it corrupted our people and made us fall far from our power. It lowered our consciousness. We're vibrating at a very low frequency right now. If you're not connected to the Most High. Verse 13. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vainglory of men they enter into the world, and therefore should they come surely to an end. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he hath made an image of his child soon taken away, so his son died at a young age. Now honor him as a god, little g, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Now we get into rituals. This is what these heathens do. And our sellout Israelite brothers and sisters, especially the sellout Israelite brothers in this fucking boule shit. That's what they be doing any of this, man. It's all vain. All you're doing is casting your soul into fire, man. Because when that judgment comes, Most High, he's not respect of persons. So if you're doing anything you're not supposed to be doing, bro, you better stop now. Especially if it's fornicating. Verse 15. Salakia. Verse 16. Thus in process of time, an ungodly custom grew strong, was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings, whom men cannot honor in presence, because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his vestige from far, and made an express image of a king, whom they honored, to the end that by their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent, as he were present. Now this is man worship. This is man worship. That's what it be doing that shit, bro. Trying to trying to please some king, trying to please some man. Not supposed to be doing that, bro. Not supposed to be doing that. Because the person y'all looking up to and the person y'all worshiping ain't doing shit for you and ain't doing shit for the Most High. So what is he doing? Verse 18. Also, the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition. Oh, let's see what else we can create. Let's see what else we can do. Vanity, man. Vanity. And it's all vain. Verse 19. For he, peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion, all his hard work, sweat, and tears, man, to please a man who don't give two fucks about him. And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god, little g, which a little before was but honored as a man. And this was an occasion to deceive the world, for men, serving either calamity or tyranny, did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. Shit been going on since the old world. This shit been going on since Noah's time. You know, when Abraham was growing up and he was trying to find out who the Most High was, man, he looked into the sun. He thought the sun was God, but he saw the sun set. So he said, this couldn't be God. He thought the moon was the power. Found out that wasn't the power. And it's hard to say who the Most High is because you can't see him. But that's how you know. All right? So what Abraham do? His father Terah. His father Terah made all these gods and shit like that. So Abraham fixed up food, took it to him, see if they go eat. They ain't do shit. Came back the next day, did it again. They ain't do nothing. So what he do? He destroyed them. And he rebuked his father. And when he went to Nimrod, he rebuked him. Because it's blasphemy. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Wicked people make idols. All right? Wicked people make idols. Let's go to verse 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the power. But whereas they lived in a great war of ignorance, as so our people do now. They live in a great war of ignorance. Because ignorance is a choice today. There's so much truth going around, bro. It's impossible not to learn something every day. It's impossible. Those so great players called they peace. Called they peace. What are you doing? For while as they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. The Mayans and Aztecs did the same shit, bro. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another treacherously or grieved him by idolatry. So now they're breaking the law. Heathens and Israelites do this all the time, man. This is all recorded in the scriptures. Heathens did the same shit, and our Israelites, they followed after the heathen, and they did the same thing. Verse 25. So that there reign in all men exception of blood, without exception of blood, manslaughter, theft, dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness. That runs through this shit today, man. Tumults, perjury. All right. Now let's get a comparison for 25. Everything was a complete riot of bloody murder, robbery, deceit, corruption, faithlessness, disorder, and falsehood. Let's continue to 26. Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, idolatry, and shameless uncleanness. Let's get another comparison. This is the GNBDK. Harassment of innocent people. Harassment of innocent people. What are you doing? Ingratitude, moral decay, sexual perversions, broken marriages, idolatry, and immortality. Do you know that the occult or the Illuminati or deep state, whatever you want to call them, have something called the law of reversal? These people get their sex changed as a child. They get their sex changed as a child and they grow up and they deceive the masses. Or you get people who sell out and they change their sex. Men as women and women as men. It's all throughout the music industry. All throughout the entertainment industry. All throughout the news. All manner of wickedness. Fucking trans. You got clones. And you got people who play fake roles. All this to get in your head. To keep you distracted from what's important. Alright? Verse 27. For the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. For either they are mad when they be merry, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. For in so much as their trust is in idols, which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. Howbeit, for both causes shall they be justly punished, both because they thought not well of the power, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness, for it is not the power of them by whom they swear, because they have no power. Idols have no power. They're not real. But it is the just vengeance of sinners that punisheth always the offense of the ungodly. All right? Let's get a precept. All right? How much time? Yep. My phone finna cut off, so let's get this last precept. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12, starting at verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. So, he hates them. He hates them. All right? He doesn't like sinners. When we sin, we get judged. When we go against the Most High, he's not respecter of persons. You got to remember that. And how do they die? Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 39. Starting at verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. All right? So the Most High don't fuck around when it comes to this, bro. Idolatry is the beginning of spiritual fornication. So all we got to do is stay connected to the Most High, man. Remember what Yahweh Shai said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So like I always say, you got to really go within yourself and seek Yahweh B'Shem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Everything is within. It's all within you. All right? So like that, family. Till next time, to you I say shalom.